here today. So welcome everybody. As you all already know, little housekeeping. We're streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. And all of these calls do get converted to audio podcasts. So if you want to grab them and listen to them while you're working out or whatever you're doing, you can certainly do that. Josh usually does that in the next couple of days. And then they're sitting in the Big Joel show on YouTube. So everyone, not that much change from 2 weeks ago. I personally, with my people that I talk to all the time, definitely uptick in activity. Lots of pre-quals going on. Lots of people saying they want to buy. There's been some data coming out with millennial polling that I think it's over 75% of them are actively literally want to buy a house for sure. They're not listening to any of these rent-only prognosticators, and they only want to, they definitely want to buy. Again, which leads us to, inventory and how is that going to be solved? And I think there's a lot of different theories there. One of them is just pure people not being scared to sell their house because they actually have someplace to move. We have talked about on this call as well, the best loan officers are educating their agent partners how to help them overcome objections from potential sellers. Alec, I don't know if you heard my last couple of calls, but brokers across the country, when I say broker, broker of record, like the guy or the woman that owns the RE/MAX or owns the EXP, will tell me when I'm out in the market and I'm someplace every week. I'm in Providence, Rhode Island tomorrow. Will constantly tell me one of their biggest objections is that the agents are ball dropping, overcoming objections, and not getting people to their lender quickly enough. So that is still going on. But what I'm finding is the best loan officers are really, really, really all in with their agent partners. And what that leads itself to is some of the best loan officers, are some of the old school people that got off their butt that are actually working, because this is like when we started. You actually had to work. And I love when loan officers say, oh, I'm so busy doing so many pre-quals and writing so many letters. And I'm like, okay, let me call you a ambulance, because that's the way it always was. And that's just the way it is. So with all of that said, today we have Alec Hanson coming in hot from San Diego somewhere, Orange County, unless he moved, Orange County, the OC for you people that watch TV. Alec is most recently appointed Chief Marketing Officer for LoanDepot. But most recently, Alec, he'll tell you all this. Alec is a production guy. This isn't some C-suite guy on here who doesn't know what's going on in the field. He's ran and still really runs a massive retail division of LoanDepot as well. So this is not a talking head. This is someone that is talking to loan officers all the time. Alec has been on here before. He's a great guy. He's a smart guy. We were talking before the call started, and I want to ask him about this, but, Alec was making videos and talking about videos sort of, I'll sound like my grandpa before video was cool, meaning, I was telling him before, I talked to loan officers today, and what they'll say is, I'll say, what'd you do today? Oh man, the makeup people came in, wardrobe. I was making videos all day. I'm the king of videos, taking no loans. They're just busy making videos, thinking that their job is to make videos because someone told them that, but they're not doing any loans. So, Alec, I just want to welcome you. Alec, how long have you been in the business, by the way? Is you 20? How many years?
22.
22 years. Okay. So 22 years in the business. Orange County, by the way, for those of you people that don't know a lot about California, except they're all crazy out there, right, Alec, is that Orange County, I think the three busiest counties for real estate in the United States are Orange County, LA County, and San Diego County. So Alec is right in the middle of some serious real estate getting done for years and years and years where he is. But Alec, talk to us about video, and not to just jump right into it, but anyone that follows you. By the way, Alec, what's the best way for people to follow you? Just find you on Instagram. Is that probably the best way? Or
Google? Yeah. I love that question, Joel, because it's always Google for everybody.
Okay.
Every salesperson in the world, it needs to be Google, because you got to meet the customer where they want to be met.
There you go.
Whatever social platform you're trying to push them to, stop meet them whatever platform they want to be on. But
tell us about video. It's like the hottest, newest, sexiest thing there is. I'll tell you what I've been telling people, because you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, Alec. I want you to tell me. I've been telling people that the research I'm doing, people can make it about 18 seconds into your video, because that's right at the TikTok limit. And if you don't have them by 18 seconds, they're hitting the snooze button and they're gone. Okay. And then you're just another video that they're trying to watch. But if people are trying to use video right now, how should they use it? What should they do? You are definitely a subject matter expert on this. And I would love to hear that and anything you want to talk about, but I'd love to start there.
Well, so it's really important for everybody hanging out today to realize my frame, because if you don't understand what my background is, the insights I might share might not make sense. I'm probably one of the last originators. Maybe some of you are like me, where every single day in 2002, I drove around to, I could not come into the office. My boss, Kevin Buddy, was an asshole. He would not let me come into the office until I got 8 business cards from agents. I had my Nokia brick phone and MapQuest printouts. I'm like one generation above the goddamn Thomas Guide. And I was driving around to I literally would go to gas stations and find realtor cards and be like, look, I did it. I got cards. So I got to frame that, because, for us old school people, now we're going to talk video and social and all this stuff. And it's so the same thing, but it's so different. So let me just frame there, and we'll jump into this. So I got into video in 2018 because I realized that we were just addicted to screens as a society. And I don't care how much you want to judge that or think it's bad. I think humanity is going deeper into screens every day. I think if you have kids, young kids, prying them off an iPad is they're addicted. It's insane. And so you look at even our own trends, we're starting to just absorb this stuff and be absorbed by it. And then I realized, as mortgage professionals, as street kids, I like to call myself like a street rat, running around to open houses, all of our customers are staring at screens and we're not there. We're not there. And that's a huge problem. So in 2018, I got really focused on I should probably figure out how to play here if I'm going to be a leader of any kind. And up until 15 days ago, I was running the entire Western United States for LoanDepot's retail platform. So, Joel says I'm not a talking head. I soon will be, but at least now I got some street cred and, I'm kind of in the game. And so there's huge tactical mistakes being had with video. And I want to drive them out for this. So if you're taking notes or listening, this is please God, don't do this stuff. And just from a show of hands, because I can see some of you on camera, how many of you hate social media and hate video? And don't lie to me. Yeah, thank you. Eric, finally Williams, okay, Eric raised his hand, so I can do it too.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself the deeper question, why do we hate it? And the answer is simplistic, because everybody with a camera is talking about themselves, and it's gross. Is that fair? It's full of humble brags and look how Instagram perfect my life is, and a bunch of BS. It's a bunch of loan officers saying, look how fast I close loans, or look at my 2-day close and approval. And all the while, their customer, the audience, gives zero shits. They're stop talking about yourself. You're not helping anybody. You're just bragging. And so we hate it. And we forget that, to draw a bad parallel, the video content today is the flyer drop of yesterday. It's that one moment.
You got to, Alec, you literally have to tell them there are people on this call never rolled into a real estate agent's office, dropped a sheaf of paper, thought you did your job and left. And I'm not going to cut Alec off, but I just want to let you know what we were told to do when we started. I'm a little bit older than Alec, and I've been doing this a little bit longer, is take these cool flyers, kill massive amounts of trees. We used to have lines at the copiers to make your copies, and then you go out and you do your milk run and leave flyers everywhere. And Alec, wow, I just want to accentuate that. Wow, that we could end the call right now when you say video or screens is the flyer drop, because that's awesome. No, everyone needs to hear that. By the way, flyer drop is a negative, people. Big negative. Big waste of time. Go ahead, Alec. Sorry.
So it's important to show up. We would all agree. It's important to get FaceTime. We would all agree. I think that let's just go down to the core of it, right? If you're going to get business from anybody in real estate, they're only going to give business to people they like, know, and trust. Period. They like, know, and trust you. They're going to consider giving you business. So how do you get somebody to like, know, and trust you? How do you build a relationship? What are the basics? Well, fundamentally, you got to spend time with somebody. You can't date someone once a month and then try to get married. It doesn't work. You haven't spent enough time with the person. Well, how do you spend time with them? Well, they're only available at broker previews and open houses. You can call them for appointments, and you can maybe see them at a networking event, but that's not where all the great agents go. And that's pretty much all you get. So now the unbelievable opportunity is you can show up in their feed every day. As long as you don't suck at it and do it poorly, you can actually make a positive impression on somebody you're trying to build a relationship with every single day. So the problem is we're just making the same mistake. And everybody is. Companies are, humans are, realtors are. Just talking about themselves. So number one, you need to show up on video. But if, like Joel and I were joking, if that's all you do, you're building zero relationships. You're just expecting, I put a video into the world, Alec, why didn't I get referrals? And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's like me saying, I put a flyer in their mailbox. Why didn't they call me? That's not how the world works. But at the same time, that flyer and all those impressions does make a difference. See, there's a thing called micro impressions. Do you guys watch every single video you scroll by on social media? No. God, no. Meaning neither does your customer, neither does your realtor. They're not watching stuff. But what happens? What are they seeing? They're having a micro impression of you. And what's that micro impression? You boasting about how great you are, how fast you close loans, how great everyone loves you. No one cares. If that micro impression is, I'm providing solutions, there's options out there, I'm here to help, I'm trying to help, then maybe that micro impression has a little positivity to it. And the next time you call them for an appointment, the next time you go into their open house and you walk in there, you're one step ahead of the guy who's just invisible. And so,
Alec, is it safe to say that this is what I say, that social media, or where you could put a video, is the coolest form of a free billboard ever?
Incredible. And your billboard can suck or it can be good, right? That's fair. And so for those of us that are, I'm going to go back a little bit. And by the way, if you guys want to make this interactive and drop a question in the chat while we're talking, we can happily do that. I'm fine to flow with anybody on this thing. But the reality is you have an unbelievable unprecedented, to be in front of the people you're trying to influence every single day. Every single day you can show up and you can be helpful, useful, fun, happy, positive, and drop a little micro impression that builds towards that long-term relationship you're trying to get. And it's just unbelievable that you have free access to this. But if you do that and don't actually call people and don't actually ask for lunches and don't actually go on appointments, your relationship isn't growing either. It's all one-sided. Let me give you another example of the one-sidedness. Social media is a two-way street. And yet how many people do we see just talking about their own videos and not actually engaging other people on those platforms? I would
This is a big one.
There's more benefit in going on social and just engaging on other people's stuff than posting your own videos.
Wait, say that again.
No, I'm gonna say it a few times, because here's the deal. How many of you guys are on social? Any of you? Okay. What happens physically and like what happens chemically when you get a notification on your phone? Somebody, your Instagram goes off. Boom. You have a little one next to it. What happens?
You look
excited. You're like, well, who's talking to me? What's going on? Did somebody like my stuff? And then you go in there and somebody actually commented or sent you a message, and assuming it's not spam or some like LinkedIn, like trying to sell you leads or whatever, assuming it's actual human connection, you feel good. Dopamine hits, you're all good. You get a chance to do it for free to all your referral partners every day without being a creep, because there's creepies on social. That's fair. Let's put that to the side. But now you have a chance to actually tell someone that you're seeing them, that you're giving them a high five, that you're validating them in real life. And that goes way farther than a video. Way farther. Does that make sense?
So I want everyone to hear that. It's huge. Alex said it's better to engage with someone else on their social media than it is to throw up your own whatever type of video you're putting up, which is amazing. And I hope everyone on here heard this. I talk about this all the time, Alec. There's a video, there's a podcast that's on my site with a guy named Anthony Dezette, where he talks about social media, and he does this bit where he's walking down the street and he just goes like this, and he keeps walking. You know, he goes like this, and he keeps walking. Where he does this bit, and you're like, "Well, what's he doing?" And you're like, "That's what it feels." You're just walking. You're not saying anything. You're just
worse.
Like.
Comments are king. Emojis and likes suck. But
Yeah.
Too, because if somebody actually like takes time from their life to engage on your stuff, or you take time from your life to tell somebody else they're awesome, like that's a feel good moment. That's an actual authentic human interaction, even though it's on our phones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to talk about what to post? What's the angle, Joel?
Yeah. I listen. I tell people all the time. Number one, regarding video, if you make a video and you like it, delete it because it's not for you. It's for someone else. Meaning, it's that you're not the audience of your own video, dummy. This is not an autobiographical, video for you. I scream and yell all the time about the I'm number one triple platinum club going to President's Club crap. I yell at agents about that all the time, and they just kind of look at me with a blank stare, and I say, no. Put a picture of your cat drinking milk. You'll have 700 likes versus, you're double, triple platinum and there's 57 likes and 54 of the people work in your office and one's your mom and, a couple randos. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, Alec, what I would love to hear actually, because the objections I hear all the time, what is the easiest? I tell people, forget about video for a minute. This is what I tell agents and loan officers. I say, just be active with your camera and take pictures of things that you like. And you can always post them later. You don't have to post them on the spot. You can you can write something nice about them, and you can connect with someone that likes the same stuff you like and then build it in a relationship. My big thing is at the end of the day, if you have a deepened and existing relationship or developed a new one, you failed. I don't care if you took 5 loans. If you didn't do one of those 2 things, you're a fail. So what type of stuff, is easy for people that don't have, the cool studio, that are walking around with a phone? What type of stuff is easy for people to start?
Let me answer. Can we all agree that people do business with people they like, know, and trust?
Yes.
That's universal. We all kind of land on that. Great. So now let's kind of talk about what you should post. First of all, has everybody gone through the exercise of who's your ideal client? And if you've never done that, you probably should. You probably know it. But who do you like to work with the most? Is it vets? Is it first-time home buyers? Is it people building generational wealth? That who really makes your heart sing? Who are the people you care about the most?
That could also be a type of agent as well, too, right?
Yeah, absolutely, a type of agent.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's your quote audience? Who's your avatar that you really want to work with? Because we've all worked with people that freaking we hated, right? And they probably hated us, and it was terrible. So let's put them over there. So as you define that person or that caricature. Okay, well, what do they need? What's helpful to them? What are they going through? What are they stuck on? What are their frustrations? What are their pain points? Where's their miseducation? What do they need to get inspired? What's helpful? And now all of a sudden you have the foundation to what you should talk about. Does that make you with me on this?
So Alec, what you're telling them is before you start even creating any content, think about your audience first.
100%.
Who do you want? Number one, who do you even care if they look at your content, and what's the desired end result? And most people don't do that, by the way. But yes,
those customers. We don't want to attract the customers that hate us. We want to attract the customers that see your value and that want to work with you for you. So that's your audience. That's your messaging. So then everything you say, you can always go back and be like, is this targeted towards this person? Do they really care about me closing a loan in 2 days? No. What do they care about? What's their concerns? How do I talk about them? By the way, you see the Zoom thing, it raises my hand for you. When I raise my hand, it's tripping me out. I didn't actually click the raise my hand button, and now it's freaking me out. It keeps doing it. Yeah, William, I don't know. It works for me. But so now you have a framework of what to talk about. And now we just can argue over, well, what's the frequency? How long should I talk? You get into things like, should I have a hook first? And Joel made a good comment, so everyone just hear this. Always deliver the punchline immediately. No one's going to listen to you if you start. You want to know the biggest sin right now on social? And I do this, so I can speak from experience. Hey everybody, it's Alec with LoanDepot Swipe. No one cares. Stop introducing ourselves. Stop saying hi everybody like we're some kind of influencer, because we're not. Just start with the solution to the problem you're bringing to the table. Start with the punchline, and then if they're interested, they'll listen to the rest. That's the formula for successful posting on social, in my opinion, one guy's opinion. Don't make it about you, who's the avatar or person or cohort you're trying to solve and solution, and give them some answers and some hope and some encouragement every day. And you'll start attracting that audience to yourself.
So Alec, let's go. Let's roll it back 16 days for a minute.
Yeah.
And you always have great pearls for a video, and this is something that you all are going to want to go back and probably listen to this podcast a little bit, or listen to this tape. What do you see in your successful loan officers, in your, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the OLD word, in your old world. What do you see in your best people? What are they doing every day? What are they doing every week? Talk to me about their mental state of mind. Alec, what I'm finding is these whiners, complainers, call me a wambulance, whatever. Laz, who's on here, who was interviewed about a month ago by me, dropped this cold in my lap. I had no idea that 50,000 originators turned in their licenses in the first quarter. In the first quarter of this year, and you can only imagine how many agents did, if you look at that. But tell me about mental state of mind. What are they doing? Tell everyone what your top dogs are doing every day in the field. LOs, what are they doing?
Well, let's first start with the fact that there's a lot of our industry, Joel, a lot of us who have never gone through a down cycle in like 10 to 12 years. And if you put 10 years into an industry and you busted your ass the last 10 years and you've never gone through a down cycle, this is very disruptive to somebody's mindset.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's happening? Nothing's working. And no matter how, it's like, and you just don't know what to do with it because you're like, well, it's like, welcome to your first down cycle. And so the killers out there have this unbelievable mental toughness because to them, it's like, well, I've experienced this before. Who cares? And even if you haven't experienced a down cycle, you can still have that same level. You're like, I'm just going to eat. And if I have to 2x my work to get 2x, if I have to 4x, if I have to 8x, I'm just going to just drive. And the results will come. They also understand, Joel, that it's seed planting season, not harvest season. And so seed planting is when you break your back. It sucks and you get nothing. You're like making calls, have 1,700 pre-calls, nothing's getting in, making videos, trying to stay consistent and just having no results. That's seed planting time. So the best have this unbelievable drive and deep conviction of what they're doing that doesn't get them downhearted. They don't just be like, oh, woe is me. They're like, another one. Let's go again. And so you can see it in them, Joel. I know you do because you coach a lot of them. Their mental toughness is insane. They're just not deterred.
I was at a dinner with a bunch of top loan officers in a city, and there was one of the Scotsman top 5 guys who shall remain nameless was at the dinner. Big dog. A lot of people know his name. And one of the other loan officers asked him, hey, what are you doing every day? What's going on? He says, I'm just hitting singles. So I'm just hitting singles. I just want to hit singles every day. And they're like, wait, what do you mean? And he's like, I'm just hitting singles every day. And I'm going to keep hitting singles. And I looked at the rest of the room and I said, people, this is your competition. He's going to keep hitting singles till you're out of the ballpark. Won't be in the ballpark. He doesn't care. He's in full ground and pound mode. Like I like to say, you said seed planting. I say market share taking. This is a time when a lot of loan officers will have the imprint of a lot of shoes of some of these loan officers that are drastically growing their business right now. I mean, they are growing their business. They're not going backwards. They're going forward. So mental toughness, mental attitude. So Alec, just to paraphrase, if you haven't been through a down market, which most loan officers haven't, get over it and use the W word and work. Now, give me just a little bit, because I don't want to keep you that long. What are some of the things what are the 1 or 2 things that your most successful LOs, you're just seeing them do every day that they are just grounding and pounding on?
I have this perspective that I call them the digital local. The digital local has been kind of forming in my head. I'm like, what does that mean? That means somebody who leverages the unbelievable power of being local, because you can't compete against that. You can't compete against the fact that I can meet you at a bar, we can get a drink, I can see you at an open house, I can go to your preview. Like, you can't, internet guys can't play there at all. They're terrible at it. But at the same time, to become digital, well, we all can play there. And it's maximizing both. It's like both of these things matter. We can do both. Like Joe, we were joking about the pure digital guy who's like, I just did videos all day and never engage with anybody else, expecting people just to bend to their will. It's like, no, but both are important. So how do you stay relevant in the field? How are you out in the marketplace? And how are you also online? And those are skill sets, and those are strategies, and those have tactics behind them, but they're both equally important. You can't just ignore one for the other. But if you combine both, now you start becoming this like, well, I see you everywhere. How do I see you all the time? And you get this ubiquitous kind of loan officer experience, which just is your brand growing, your reputation growing, and then effectively your reach and your opportunity growing.
But you gotta but you got to work. You know, the
Well,
rookie
so
stuff that I've done over the years.
Get you if I don't say it. Hold on.
No, go.
In pre-crisis mode, you might be able to work with 2, 3, 4, 5 realtors and get a lot of business. Now you got to work with 10 to 15. Now you got to work with 20. And that's a different skill set. It's like you got to fish in wider ponds because there's not that much business. You got to open up the doors a little bit. And that's like, I know loan officers spent 10 years building relationships with realtors, Joel, and told me, well, I don't want to build new ones. I don't like it. I don't want to build new ones. I'm like, well, tough shit. The market doesn't care. No one cares. You got to go back to the grind, back to open houses, back to previews, back to calling agents. And I know some people are like, well, I don't do that anymore, Alec. I built my business up. I have my team. And I'm like, is it giving you the business you want? Because if it's not, go get a bigger team. And I think that people just don't want to do that because it hurts and it's hard.
Yeah, this is the longest run, and you know, I'm in the 30-year club. This is the longest continual run that I've ever seen in my career. And you are correct. There are loan officers that they flat out just don't want to do the work because what they think is work is not work. What they think is work is, you know, picking up the phone and, you know, just answering the phone. What they think is work is just waiting for things to come to them. And they don't really understand, you know, the old, you know, your grandfather, I walked to school in, you know, 5 feet of snow, 5 miles barefoot, whatever. I don't want to sound like that, but I will tell you the loan officers that are working old school right now, you know, Alec, I used to say high tech, low touch equals no money. High touch, low tech equals big money. Now I say exactly what you just said. High tech, high touch is the gold medal right there. If you're doing both, nobody can beat you. No one can compete with you. If you master digital and tech and you're having a beer with someone, it's game, set, match. It's over.
Yeah. And I always try to describe for people, and maybe you guys can resonate with this. If you're in the mortgage business, you've had to reinvent yourself before. If you've survived, you've had to reinvent yourself. This is a reinvention year. That's hard. It sucks. But like the best gift you can give yourself is just pretend like you're brand new and go attack it again.
That's a great, boy, what a great way to end. The best advice you can give yourself is just pretend you're brand new and go attack it again. Alec Hanson, Chief Marketing Officer for LoanDepot. Alec is all over I'll just put it, the World Wide Web. No, yeah. He's everywhere. And if you want to find him, just Google him. But he loves interacting with people, as you all can tell from listening to him today. He's all about helping people. He's one of those guys. So I'm sure you can inbound him if you have a question. It might not answer you immediately, but he will answer you, you know, as soon as he can, I'm sure. And he's West Coast time, by the way. Alec, thank you so much for your time. There's a lot of great stuff in here, and we really appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. Thank you. Everybody, we'll see you all later.
Great to hang with you today. Thanks, Joel.
Thank you, Alex.